Welcome to my August vlog. It is super late into August and I need to get this out there. So I decided I'd film it. I don't have my hair like done up for the day. I'm in my new apartment, but I don't want to talk much about that because it technically happened in August. So for the next vlog, I'm going to try and do my best and talk about July. But I've been thinking about what I'm going to say for my July vlog. Or I guess I call it my August vlog and this is my July vlog. Wake up, John. But I don't know. I don't remember. So much happened. But also I remember none of it because my memory's terrible. And I'm really bad at this sometimes. And so hopefully for August, I can do better at recording things as they happen and talking, most importantly, talking about them as they happen. Because I know that anyone who actually ever watches these things is actually kind of somewhat interested in hearing me just like talk about like what's going on in my life and everything that's happening. So I'm going to try and do that for July. And then I promise I'll try and do better for August in the future. I don't really like the way my hair looks right now, but we're just going to okay, we're just gonna deal with it. So that's something that happened in July. I cut my hair. I got it trimmed up, and then like 2 days later, I decided I was like, actually, I'm gonna cut it all off. And the reason I've been growing it out is because I do like the longer hair look. I do. Some people are not a fan. Thank you, Mom. But I do really like the longer hair look. But I realized that I was only continuing, because I got it like all the way down here. And I realized I was only continuing to grow it out so that the top of the hair could catch up and I could just throw it into a ponytail like 24/7. But I don't know. I thought that would, I feel like I was just under the impression that would give me more or that it would look different or I don't know. And I just kind of realized like that's it. That's the only thing I'm waiting for. It's just the ability to put it in a ponytail more. And I already wear a hat 24/7. And most importantly, I think the growing out of the hairstyle, like as it changes, is one of my favorite thing is. And so I was like, you know what, just screw it. I'm just gonna cut my hair off. I never really had a rhyme or reason for my hairstyles anyway, so I chopped it all off. She cut it in a way so that I can do a middle part, but that only works when I actually put product in my hair. And then when I don't have product in my hair, it just has this like really dirty front look. But it'll grow out. Again, the middle section is what it's all about, I think. Kind of that mid-length flow, I think looks so good. The start of July was great. As you know, most of my life and most of my summer has been just Frisbee. But I actually got to have a really fun 4th of July because my friend Aiden had his family throws this like big neighborhood party out on this like lake house. I got invited to that. That was super fun. It was a little weird because I don't know the people, but we like played basketball, had a ton of fun. What happened? Middle of July? What happened in the middle of July? Was heavyweights in July? It was. I went to a tournament in Chicago called Heavyweights. That was the first tournament for ELDL, which is the Frisbee team I'm on, if you're unaware. That went well. I feel like I played really good at that tournament. There's been some kind of, just learning curve to what the club is like and getting back into playing all the time and kind of dealing with this whole, I don't know, mental battle that comes with my personality of always thinking I'm the best player on the field and logically knowing that that's not true and just trying to find my place on the team. But with something I have been noting is that when it comes to the mental aspect of the game, I've improved so much, and that I definitely still have this internal struggle of how good am I going to be, and that's definitely something that's I think very obvious if you've been watching my vlogs, but I'm not letting it affect my team and my play as much as I think I did at Davenport, where at Davenport I was so self-centric. I was like, I have to perform, I have to do good, it's all about me looking good. And there was no oh, I'm a part of a team and I have to do this system and I have to do this. Whereas ELDL, I'm still trying to prove that I'm good and I still want to look good, but I'm also very comfortable now to just be well, I did my role, and at the end of the day, that's what I'm asked to do, and so that's good. That's a benefit, and so it's just smaller things like that that aren't just dominating the way I view Frisbee that kind of show my growth as a person and a teammate. That's kind of exciting. That it also makes me I'm getting to the point where I'm I'm kind of capping out on my skill to some degree, and it's no longer it doesn't feel dooming anymore. Whereas I feel 2 years ago, the idea of me being at my peak would have been this can't be it, this can't be the top. Whereas now, I'm gonna keep trying to be better, but I'm at a spot now where I'm if this is the top, if this is all there is for me in Frisbee, I'm fine with that, and I'm very happy with what I've achieved. So a lot of growth, and because of that, I'm having a ton of fun with this team. Um, Again, like playing and having just so much less weight on my shoulders to like do something or be something or prove something. Like I'm still aiming for those things. It's just not my all in all, you know? I'm proud when the team succeeds. I'm not constantly worried about like, well, why didn't I get put on that line? It's just like not that big of a deal anymore. And that's good. It's not completely gone. There was a moment after our next tournament. So we had another tournament in July that was more recent. That was what was my other tournament? Oh, SFI, which was in Ohio. The team did a little worse at that tournament, and I also feel like I didn't play quite as good, but kind of whatever. But there's a moment where I was like, kind of complaining and like soundboarding off to my friend and teammate in the car, and he made this comment like, "Man, you're really like needy in that way," and I was like, "Oh, damn!" He really like pointed out, and I was like, "Oh, you're right. I'm being like super childish about this. Like, it's really not that serious." So there's definitely still some push and pull, and still some learning, and some good days and some bad days. But I think overall, like it's been crazy to see the general improvement that I've had in terms of just like taking life in stride and my frisbee skills in stride and being a good teammate and stuff like that. Um, I think it's really cool. Yeah, SFI was great. Again, the team did not as good as we wanted to. There was no drama, I don't think, but just like it wasn't as simple as like, oh, we think we can beat this team and then we didn't. It was just like we were really it was really us. We were underperforming. It wasn't like these other teams were coming out of here and we're like, oh crap, they're good and we just can't do enough. It was just like, oh, we're like falling apart, and we don't like that. Like we didn't think that. I think I was under the impression, at least, and I won't speak for my teammates. I was under the impression that like we couldn't be that bad. Like it wasn't possible for us to play that bad, and then we did. And so it's just like, oh crap, we are now aware that like this is a potential floor for us. This is a potential flaw of ours, and we have to fix it or just be ready for the fact that that's a reality of this team. Yeah, coming up is Cooler Classic. That's in August. And then after that, this team said we're going to start taking things a little more. We've been in like this like growth and like learning stage, and after Cooler is when we get into like the series phase and like trying. I don't know exactly what those changes entail. That's for the captains to do and decide. But I'm curious. Again, it's like kind of been a learning season where the club is so different from college. Yeah, so I'm just kind of like sitting back and watching and having a ton of fun watching the captains run this team and seeing like, okay, how does club differ? Because I was, captain at Knox, so I have all these thoughts and feelings about how I would or maybe potentially in the future might captain a team. But I'm like, well, but I need to be like learning and watching because I don't know what club is like, and these guys have done club captaining before, so really like learning and watching them very closely. Not to be a nitpicky asshole, but to just be like, okay, like if I eventually become a captain of a club team, then like these are the differences. These are the things that they are doing well. These are the things that I think that they're not doing well. And there's not much. I don't think there's anything on that list. They're killing it. I love the captains of my team. Yeah. We had a training weekend this last weekend. That was a ton of fun because I don't drink heavily often, and I was like, this is just like a weekend where I want to be able to relax with my friends and just like drink a lot and not worry about like the crowd I'm in. And so I got to do that for our kind of training weekend. We did practice and then had a fun night as a team, and then did practice again the next day. And so it was really fun to, again, exactly that, just be so comfortable with a group of people that I'm like, okay, I can drink and have fun and let loose a little, and I'm not like worried about like who's watching me or like what I might say, because I trust myself and I trust these people. I was talking to some other people about how we played like a bunch of like dumb, stupid, like team bonding games, but also like very like college-esque games, and that was like so fun. I've forgotten how much fun college was, just like drinking with your friends and stuff like that, and all like the games you play and just the silly crap you can do. So I really enjoyed that kind of getting to like relive my glory days or whatever. So that was a ton of fun. I don't know when I did this, but I got a new membership at the YMCA here. It's closer to my new apartment. It's got a pool, so hopefully I can start swimming more and maybe do triathlons in the off season. I've given up on running. I don't know how many people watch this vlog who are also keeping very close tabs on my workouts, but I've given up on running while in the Frisbee season. I do so much lifting and athletic and plyometric work and also playing during the summer that running is just not really feasible. I mean, I'm going to do 20-minute runs every now and then just to shake my legs out. And so I don't completely bottom out my running skill. But in terms of like my 5K time and like real running workouts and like a lot of volume, it's just not doable. And that was kind of hard to give up. I think I tried it a few different times in the season and it just never really worked. And now I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, all right, my running season is just no longer going to be in the summer. It's just going to have to be after the Frisbee season. So, yeah, I tried to have like 4 or 5 different trips in July, and I just couldn't make any of them work. The finances didn't work out. I think just there's a lot of like overlap between having 2 places where we're like moving, where you like have it now, you have a security deposit, but then you also have to pay last month's rent, and then you have first month's rent. And also I discovered that I just spend more money in the summer. Part of that is traveling with the Frisbee team. Part of that is just having so much free time and being so bored that I just, I have to go do things or whatever. So yeah, the money's been like, I'm not broke or anything, but I didn't have this big super saver money making summer like I was planning on. And another partial reason for that is that I found it actually incredibly hard to work in the summer. I thought it would be so easy just to pick up a second job and work a lot and make 2 times the amount of money I would normally make. But finding a job was really tough, like extremely tough. No one would hire me. And B, it's so hard to work during the summer as a teacher when you're getting paid even if you do nothing. Like I'm still getting my salary over the summers. But also work is just like not fun. I don't know, like the second job is just so boring. Not that I'm used to doing work that sucks. That's like kind of what a lot of colleges like. But like I get so much passion and joy out of teaching that I'm like, this is just like what work is supposed to be like. And then you go work a second job and you're just like, this is hell. I hate this. This is the worst. But yeah, last thing I forgot to mention, well, I was just going through my camera roll because my video died because I'm out of space. I went to see my friends in Madison right before heavyweights because it was kind of just an easy trip to make. That was sweet. I guess I saw them not too long ago, but Beck and Caleb and Leah are great friends of mine. It was a little funny just because I had to bring my teammates / friends. And so it was just kind of like 2 worlds clashing that are very different worlds. So it was very awkward at first. And if you know me at all, I love that shit. That's hilarious. That is so funny. Watching them interact for a while was very funny. And then we watched Madison Radicals play the Thunderbirds, which was mind-numbingly boring because the Pittsburgh Thunderbirds suck. Guess they should have signed better players. But yeah, that was a good trip. Hopefully I can see those guys again soon. And yeah, I think that covers about everything that happened in July. So